Hello, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Discussions. Welcome back. So here we are into early 2021. 2020 was bad, but 2021's not really giving us much of a better start now, is it? Regardless of political affiliation, we can see right now that the new administration is basically trying to reverse everything that the previous administration had put into place. Mostly good things. Just a couple examples. They shut down the Keystone XL pipeline, which was in stage 4 of completion. It was already funded. It just needed to be finished. So we lost a lot of workers there. It's really a sad day in America to look at this transition and see how rapidly it can go downhill and really turn ugly. And if we keep going at this pace, well, let's be honest. We're headed to a near-death experience of America, and it's already beginning. They're censoring our freedom of speech. They're canceling culture. They're deciding on which statues to remove. They want to remove history. They want to just change everything. It's known as their Great Reset. And I personally, and it's just me, I don't think that we're prepared to take on this kind of a reset. I would have hoped that the words that came out of Biden's mouth would have held true. I mean, he said himself he wanted unity. It was time for America to heal and to build back better. Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but I don't feel that we have unity. There's a lot of division, and it's just getting worse. America was on its way to being healed with the previous administration, in my opinion. And to say build back better than what? Better than it was? Because it's going the other direction. There's a thing called the 16-year plan, and it started with the Obama administration, the first 8 years. And then, of course, the second 8 years, which would have finished off the 16-year plan, would have been under Hillary Clinton. They never thought she would lose. So, here we are. Some good news. COVID numbers are going down. I think the curve is finally starting to flatten, and I'm not going to cover too much of that subject. It's been highly discussed and exhausted. It's at this point they're just beating a dead horse with a stick, trying to wake it back up. But that is some good news. A lot of businesses have managed to hold on through all of this by the grace of something. I don't know how. We have a local restaurant here in town, Sanford's Grub and Pub, and they decided early in the week, or I think it was last week, that they're going to defy the mask order. They're back open to full capacity. It's not every other table. Yes, the employees are still wearing face coverings. I went there today for lunch, and the place was packed. And let me tell you, it was really nice to see faces, real human faces. It was almost glorious. I don't know how to describe it. And people looked happy. They were enjoying themselves. I overheard a gentleman from Colorado talking to his waitress. He said, "We drove all the way up here from Colorado to, sit down in a restaurant, not having to wear a mask." Because in Colorado, from what I'm told, when you're eating in those restaurants, yes, you have to enter the restaurant with a mask. believe you can take it off after you sit down, which doesn't make a bit of sense to me. Once you sit down, it's the COVID-free zone, I guess, is what they think that is how it works. It has brought some people together. There's small groups of people on the same page, if you will, that think a little differently and look at things a little differently than others. And it's obvious who those people are. You might know some of those people. They have like minds. They're not suffering from cognitive dissonance. They're open. They're free thinkers. And over the course of this last 4 years, have noticed and seen what appeared to be the perfect plan to make America great again. And I feel we were honestly pretty darn close to that. And I want that back. I don't know about you. I want that back. You can say Orange Man bad, whatever you want to call it. But he was doing a really fantastic job. In fact, I think he had 6 pages of accomplishments that he had achieved in those 4 years. Even amidst a pandemic, which was not a pandemic. By definition, we know what that is, right? If this were a real pandemic, there would be thousands of people dead in the streets. It's not a pandemic. It's far from that. And people are still just hanging on to that. But I have a pretty strong feeling that something good is going to happen soon amidst all this bad stuff. It's going to be like going from dark to light. I hope you feel the same. I know I have many people that feel the same way. So all we can do is really hope for that. This is definitely an interesting time to be alive. And to look back and see all the things that we have witnessed, you know, from forest fires to riots to looting to tearing down statues to the way sports has been reformed. You know, there's no fans in the stadiums, there's cardboard cutouts. I never thought in my life I would see anything like that. In fact, I was bringing me back to Sanford's again. We were watching a basketball game, and I turned to look and see, and yeah, it was just a bunch of cutouts. I'm not really a huge sports fanatic by any means, but how are they going to continue to fund their operation without a fan base, a real paying live attendance fan base? And it's, you know, early on in preseason, it was kind of the same thing with football. Again, it's not anything that I follow too closely, but I mean, it's a reality, something that is just really actually surreal to watch. Because, you know, if I was a member of a professional sports team or league, I would want that fan presence there. I mean, it kind of eggs you on to perform, and it's just not the same without all that. So I'm not really sure where I'm headed with this. I just know that things do need to get better in America, and there's too many people that are complacent. They just accept things that the way that they are, feeling they have no power, no voice. You know, they get up, they go to work, they come home, they turn on the television and watch whatever news station they watch, and eat dinner, go to bed, wash, rinse, repeat. They do it every day, and some don't even really pay attention to what's going on around them, because that's their life. That's how it is. Other people, on the other hand, are heavily engaged in watching everything on a daily basis, and myself included. I feel like I'm going to wear myself out sometimes trying to keep up with it all, but it's because I care. I care about America. I care about the citizens of America. I care about the world, really. This is going to affect the whole world. It's not just America. Because if America goes down, the whole world's going to go down with it. I know that's not sounding very local, but it's a reality. There were many people in many different countries that were seeing what happened with this new administration, or I should say are seeing what's happening with this new administration, and even they're not happy, so what does that tell you? And something doesn't seem quite right about that inauguration. For people that were paying attention, that is. It looked almost like people in a funeral. There were some noticeable differences in clothing, shoes. In fact, there was a gentleman that filmed it from a little far away. You know, you could see the mall. And at the inauguration, there weren't thousands and thousands of people gathered like the previous inauguration. It was just the inauguration, just the people involved with the inauguration on the stage. I found that a little odd. It's unlike anything we've experienced before. And one has to question the motive there. And Kamala Harris was sworn in before Biden. Does that ever happen? I don't think that's ever happened before. It's just, there's too many questions. It just didn't feel real. Didn't feel real at all. In fact, it really doesn't feel real now, does it? And where's the outrage? You know, I have both liberal friends and conservatives. We don't see eye to eye on everything. Probably never will. Just the way people are once they, choose their affiliation, they stand by it, and that's just the way they are. But the thing I've noticed in this is I haven't seen anybody in real support of this administration. I haven't seen a lot of positive feedback. I haven't seen people ranting and smiling and giving us a list of all the great things that have happened so far. You know why? Because there really hasn't been any. Do you suppose they know this? And they're just unable to voice it? Are they scared inside? Do they feel like they let themselves down? I would surely probably feel that way. So, just some things to think about in this episode of Discussions. It'll be a little bit shorter one this time around, but hopefully in time when we start picking up speed with this platform, we'll have a lot more content to follow up on and see. Until then, stay strong, be healthy in mind, body, and spirit, take care of yourself. Be positive, and we'll see you next time.